Today when we start, what we'll do is it will be something very different, and I want you to make a commitment. Would you make a commitment? Yes? Yes? Okay. I want you to commit. If there's anything you like here today, any idea that really touches your heart, you won't just say, oh, this is a good idea, I like it. You will take action on it. Is that a commitment from your side? Okay, perfect. Let's get started. I'll share a bit about myself to just let you understand that I believe anything is possible. And anything is possible if you do two things, and I'll share those two things with you today. So to start with, my grandparents were refugees, partition happened, and they had to leave everything. So they had to leave money, wealth, everything, and they came to India. Growing up, we didn't have a lot of money, and when we were growing up, we couldn't afford the bus, we couldn't afford the auto, so I used to sell toys at the age of 5, and I did a lot of things. My family shifted. I was born in Bombay. My family shifted. In those days, it was called Bombay. Now it's called Mumbai. So my family shifted to Iran, and I grew up in Iran. So till the age of 16, I was in Iran. My family was there. Parents were there, friends were there. And then, at the age of 16, something interesting happened. I came back to India, to Bombay, for higher studies. And I went through a very challenging part of my life. And I believe challenges are a great gift if we look at them as a gift. So what happened is when I was 16, I came to India, and I had no family, I had no friends, I didn't have a lot of money, and I was lonely. I went through a phase, where I was confused, I didn't know what to do with life, and I was doing everything right, but somehow I was stuck in a rut. So I didn't know what to do, and I would spend a lot of my free time reading. And I would read books on, psychology, politics, business, spirituality, everything. I like reading. And what happened was, still nothing was changing in my life. So I used to read a lot, but nothing was changing in my life. And then one fine day, I was reading the Gita. And it was very interesting because Krishna was talking to Arjun, and he was telling Arjun, overcome fear, take action. Don't worry, whether you'll win the war, lose the war, just take action. And it felt as if Krishna is speaking to me, and Krishna is telling me, Yogesh, have no fear and take action. And that really connected with me. And I said, yes, whenever something good has happened in my life, it's been because of taking action. If you don't take action, nothing changes. So I told myself, enough of just sitting and reading, you need to take action. And when we tell our subconscious mind, when we tell ourselves, that to do something, somehow we start getting results. So then I was browsing through the paper, and I saw an ad. And that was an ad for a seminar that was happening. And this seminar this was an international conference that was happening that had a lot of investors, hedge fund owners, CEOs coming. And I said, I've been reading about people who have succeeded in their respective domains. Let me attend this seminar, and let me try to learn from these people. So I picked up the phone. I didn't have a cell phone in those days, so I picked up a phone, and I called this number, and I said, hi, I'm Yogesh Chabria. I would love to attend this seminar. I was 16 that time. And he said, okay, you're most welcome. And he told me a fee. And I asked him, is that really the fee? It seems like you've added one more zero. He said, no, this is the fee. And I wanted to give him a sad story. Sometimes we all come up with our own sad stories to come up with excuses. So I wanted to give him my sad story. Oh, sir, I'm just a student. I don't have money. So he told me very clearly, if you really want to attend, you'll figure out a way. And he banged the phone down. At first, it felt bad. I had a couple of abuses, which I won't share because this is a nice platform. I won't share the abuses I had in my mind. But I thought about it, and I said, yeah, he's right. If I really want to attend the session, if I really want to do something, I'll figure out a way. And anyway, I still have around 20, 25 days to attend this session. So what I did was, I asked myself, what is one skill I have? And one skill I had was selling. So I said, let me try to figure out, let me get a small job, let me make some money and go and attend this session. So I picked up the newspaper. In the newspaper, I started looking, there's a section which says, sales guys wanted, sales girls wanted. So I started calling. I said, hi, I'm Yogesh Chabria. I would love to apply for a job. And the first thing he asked me, do you have any experience? Even if you apply for a job, I'm sure they'll ask you that. Do you have any experience? And I said, yes, of course. I've been selling since the age of 5. I have a lot of experience. So he says, do you have a CV? I said, what's a CV? He said, a resume, a biodata. I said, no. He banged the phone down. I called him again. I said, I really want to come. I really want to apply for this job. He said, no, you don't have a CV. You don't have a resume. We are not interested. Banged the phone down. Luckily, his address was there. So I picked up. I said, sir, I'm coming to meet you. I kept the phone down. I went to his office, and I started telling him, I really like to sell. I want to sell. He says, no, you have no CV. You have no resume. So I flipped the thing. I said, what if I work for free? Everybody likes free labor. Even the TED guys don't pay their speakers. So everybody likes free labor. So everybody likes free labor. So he said, okay, come on board. I said, okay, now I'm on board. I told him, every time I sell a product, you give me a commission. So he liked it. He got convinced. He says, okay, Yogesh, you're on board. So I got this job. It was to sell health supplements. And I said, okay. So next morning, I put on a nice suit. I put on a tie. I put on a backpack. I put in the products. And I took the train route in Bombay. There's a north-south train route. I took that train route. And I started going. Now, the first thing, I managed to enter the train. If you've been to Bombay in the trains, it's very crowded, but I managed to enter. I got a second-class pass, and I was sitting. I was just sitting. I had my bag. My bag was up there. It's hot in Bombay, so I just got up to get some water. You know what happened to my seat? It was gone. Somebody took it. And I said, wow, this is a fast city. If my eye goes away from the opportunity, even for 1 second, the opportunity is gone. I liked it. I started going to houses. I would ring the doorbell, and before I could say, hi, I'm Yogesh, I want to sell something, most people would bang the door on my face. But in my head, I was thinking about what Krishna said. He says, take action, have no fear. I said, okay, let me just take action. It's better than just sitting doing nothing. Let me just take action. So I kept taking action, and then finally, first day nothing, second day nothing. Probably after going to 100 houses, one lady, she says, oh, I was looking for these health supplements, thank you, and I made a sale. And that's when I realized the power of persistence. If we are persistent about what we want and we keep doing it over and over and over and over again, eventually something will happen. So I started making sales. My personality started changing. Now I was traveling, I was meeting people, and I was opening up. And in around 20 days, I had enough money to attend that seminar. That was my goal. So I went to that guy. I said, thank you very much. Here's the money. You inspired me. You motivated me to do this. You made me feel the pain. So I took action. So I paid for it. He didn't, of course, care. And then I paid the money. Now, this seminar was happening in a nice, fancy hotel, a 5-star hotel. So again, I put on a tie. I wanted to look good. I wanted to be well-dressed. I went to this session. So people had come in their Mercedes-Benzes, their BMWs, whatever, But I had only one objective there, is that I want to grow. I want to learn. I want to really improve myself. So I went there. I sat right in the front row, and I took a pen and paper, and I was making notes. This was in around 2000. I was making notes, and all these hedge fund guys were saying, we have projections of investing $5 billion, VC capital, we want to invest $10 billion. And it was really interesting because they were speaking about $10 billion as if it's pocket change. And they said, the growth that's happened in China will happen in India. There's a lot of potential. India has a lot of young people. And I said, okay, interesting. Lunch break happened. So there was a nice buffet lunch. I enjoyed the lunch. I was standing at the dessert counter. They had this, this was the first time I saw it. They had this chocolate fountain with strawberry. So you take a strawberry, put it in the chocolate fountain and eat it. First time I saw it, I was enjoying it. And I overheard two people speaking. And these people were saying, let's invest a small amount of money. Let's invest maybe $500,000 in real estate in Bombay, in Mumbai. And I overheard this. And I went to them, and I asked them a very simple question. I asked them, thank you very much, I overheard you. Can I be of help? That's a very powerful question you could ask someone. Can I be of help? And I asked them, they looked at me, they thought probably I'm an investment banker or a real estate consultant. They said, yeah. I introduced myself. I said, hi, I'm Yogesh Chabria. They said, okay, you could probably be of help, but we are leaving tomorrow night. So we are going back, we are from the Middle East, we are leaving tomorrow night. I said, okay, but you're there tomorrow afternoon. I could show you some properties. I could be of help to you. They said, okay, show us a property, Yogesh, tomorrow at 3 o'clock. I said, cool. Then they asked me, Yogesh, how much would you charge us? Now, I had no idea. I was not even thinking about the money. Just offhand, I said, I'll charge you 1%. I observed their expression. They seemed fine with it, so I thought I've told them a lower figure. So I said, and I will charge you 10% of profits. They were a bit taken aback. They said, Yogesh, nobody charges 10% of profits in this industry. I said, yeah, you told me, but I will charge you profits only when you make profits. So I want you to make profits. Somehow they got convinced. I took the number. The seminar got over at around 5 o'clock. And what is my mental state now? I'm super excited because I want to help these people. And I'm seeing the power of taking action without fear, speaking to someone without fear. I'm seeing the power of that. So I go to the nearest cyber cafe. In those days, I didn't have a computer. I didn't have internet access on the computer. So I went to the cyber cafe, and I went to the search engine, and I typed best developers, best builders in Mumbai. So I got a list of names. I got the names. I wrote them down. I went to the public phone, and I started calling them. So I called them. I said, hi, I'm Yogesh Chabria. I represent international investors. True or false? True, absolutely true, because they have given me the right to represent them. So I tell them, yeah, I represent international investors. We want to invest money with you, probably $500,000, $400,000 to start with. And of course, anybody who gets a call like that will say, you're most welcome. So I asked them, what's the fee you pay? They said, we have a standard 1% fee. I tried, I said, probably, they also will give me a share of profit. So I asked them, any share of profits? They said, no, we just give a flat 1% fee. And what happened next was, I fixed up meetings for the next morning. I made a schedule. And next morning, again, I went to all the developers. I just had one suit, so I put it on. I had a red tie, I put it on, polished my shoes again. I went to these people, and I had only one thought in my mind. And the thought was, when I have $400,000, or when I have that sort of money, how will I invest it? So I wanted to be completely honest, completely ethical with these people, because I believe everybody's money is hard-earned, and it's in anything. If you're completely honest, if you're completely ethical, you will grow. So I went to these guys. I started making notes. I tried to figure out which are the properties, which ones would be nice for these people, and I made a list. 3 o'clock, I went to the hotel. Luckily, they had a hotel car, and in the same hotel car, we went to the same developers. Now, when we walked into the developer's office, the receptionist, she said, oh, hi Yogesh, hi, Mr. Chabria, because I was there just 2 hours ago. I am assuming these people didn't realize. We sat down, we saw a couple of properties, and finally, we sat on the negotiating table, because negotiation is a part of life. Negotiation is a part of everything we do. So there was a property. So, these guys were discussing. So I told these people, let me negotiate. I told my investors, let me negotiate. And sometimes you need to just stand up. You need to take action. You need to just stand up. So I said, let me negotiate. And there are two very important things in any negotiation or even in life. I'll tell you what these two things are. You could make a note of it. So the first thing everybody has is greed. So I gave the developer greed. I told him, today it's only $400,000. But if you give a good deal, tomorrow this can be 4 million. Day after it can be 40 million, 400 million. There's a lot of money in the world. So give us a good deal. And the second thing everybody has is fear. What was the fear I told him? I told him, what happened? Is the light on? Is it? You're on, okay. So the next thing that happened was fear. Now what is fear? The fear I gave them is, I know X, Y, Z builders. I dropped in names of other builders who we had met, and I said, if you don't give us a good deal, even these guys are my friends. So indirectly, I told the developer that if you don't give us a good deal, we will go to your competitors. You could use it in anything, greed and fear. So finally, he gave us a good deal. Now, I wanted to be completely sure that these guys, the money they invest is proper. So I told them, we'll do some due diligence. Let's hire a lawyer. Of course, they paid for the lawyer. And let this lawyer study the property, make sure the papers are clear. You go back to the Middle East and come. So what these people did, they told me, okay, Yogesh, proceed. So I used to go to the lawyer. I would meet the lawyer. The lawyer did the paperwork. He put an ad in the newspaper. And finally, after around 20, 21 days, the lawyer said, the title is clear. These people came. They invested $400,000, and they were happy, and I was also very happy. Not because of the money, of course. I was making 2%, 1%, so that's 3% of $400,000, which is around $12,000. That's, of course, a lot of money for a 16-year-old. That felt like 12 million, 12 billion, a lot of money. But what it showed me, besides the money, it showed me something even more powerful, and that's the power of taking action with no fear. When we take action without fear, I realized anything is possible. So I got that money. The first thing I did was, with the $2,000, I went and bought new clothes. I bought a new cell phone. I bought shoes. I bought all sorts of things. And the balance, $10,000, because I'd heard these people saying there's a lot of economic growth going to happen in India. I went and invested in a couple of assets. So one of the assets I invested was an automobile company. So I invested in the shares of an automobile company. And over time, what happened is that $10,000 just kept growing. property prices in Mumbai grew. So the $400,000 they had invested became around $600,000. So on the balance $200,000, I made 10%, which is $20,000. And I realized in life, sometimes the simplest things we do has the most impact in the future. Life is like a garden. If you plant a seed today, you water it, you take care of it, after 3, 4, 5 years, that garden will just start giving you fruits. So what I want you to do is overcome fear. Whatever fear you have in life, just overcome it. Because fear is all in the mind. It's not real. Overcome fear, take action. Because only when you take action will you get real results. And I would love to share more, but because of paucity of time, I'll end. But one more thing you could do is whatever you do, enjoy it. Be happy doing it, because if you do something that you enjoy, you will really give it your best, you will make the most of it, and life is a game. I believe life is a beautiful game. So let's all play to win. Thank you very much. I had a beautiful time. Best of luck. Thank you.